Good morning. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Church, which serves our church here in Birmingham, our church in Tuscaloosa, and all of our folks online. Today is the beginning of Pride Month. And yay! Thank you to our committee who decorated so beautifully. We are not doing Pride Sunday this Sunday, but we will be celebrating all month. So please be watching your announcements for that date. It will be at the end of the month due to my schedule. Today, I am delighted to hand over the service to our beloved choir. So, these folks work tirelessly and meet during the week, every week, to put out the beautiful song that they do, and we are delighted to celebrate with them this morning. So with that, whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home. The prelude prepares us for worship.
The choir's opening piece is "Set Me as a Seal Upon My Heart." The words are from the Hebrew Bible, Song of Solomon, chapter 8. They were set to music by David Childs in modern times in honor of his parents and the love they felt for each other. The speaker of these biblical verses appears to have been a woman or a girl who spoke passionately about love. The seal was a signet or a carved gemstone that was used to impress into clay the equivalent of today's signature. The seal is usually carried on a cord, worn as a necklace, thus upon my heart, or as a ring or armlet.
Please stand and greet those around you, especially those you may not recognize. Folks online, please greet one another in the chat.
Oh, sing a new song to the eternal. Shout praise, all earth. Break into music and song. Praise the eternal with lyre and song. Let the sea and all within it thunder praise, the world and its inhabitants. Let rivers clap their hands. Let mountains sing in chorus. Oh, sing a new song to the eternal.
Please rise and body or spirit for the lighting of the chalice. Every face is in you, every voice, every sorrow in you, every pity, every love, every memory woven into fire. Every breath is in you, every cry, every longing in you, every singing, every hope, every healing woven into fire. Every heart is in you, every tongue, every trembling in you, every blessing, every soul, every shining woven into fire.
Now please rise and body. Ooh, boy. Fine. Now please rise and body your spirit for our opening hymn, number 108. My life flows on in endless song of others' lamentation. I hear the real, the far-off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing what through the tempest round me roars? I know the truth in heaven, but through the darkness rises, sounds in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my eagle's song, but to the rock I'm clinging. Since song is in heaven, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear what bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice so far and near, how can I keep from singing? To praise the cell and dungeon fire, our thoughts to them are ringing. When friends for shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Good morning. Greater Birmingham Ministries is this month's Share the Plate recipient. So can y'all hear me? There we go. Thank you, guys. I'm from Greater Birmingham Ministries. My name's Ned Freeman. Y'all are an integral part of what we do. And y'all have decided that this month will be, Greater Birmingham Ministries will be the Pass the Plate recipient. So we are deeply grateful for that. But more importantly, we're deeply grateful for y'all's ongoing commitment to being part of Greater Birmingham Ministries. Now, people often wonder what all we do. It's hard to put it into an elevator pitch. So let me just start with a little history, because GBM, we look at our organization as being responsible for tying Birmingham's history with its present and with its future. We live in a sacred place where people have tried to figure out how we can all live together and overcome social injustices and build what Martin Luther King called the beloved community. So in 1969, Birmingham was a city that was struggling with figuring out its identity in the aftermath of the assassination of Martin Luther King, and questions about where the civil rights movement was headed, where the country was headed. There was a lot of unrest. But faith leaders in this community knew that the model had been set, that when people come across theological divides and racial divides to work together, you can move mountains. So GBM started with the idea of being responsive to whatever needs would come up in the community, following the model that had been set by Shuttlesworth, King, John Lewis, and others. And responsive is what GBM has been. We don't know what issues are necessarily going to be on the horizon. And they didn't know back then when they started 55 years ago. But they knew that if you center yourself on serving the people of this community, you'll hear what the issues are that well up. So our bread and butter is direct services. We get food to people in need, we get clothes to put to people in need, and through that, we're very intentional about listening to what has gotten people to the point of being in need. What are the systems that aren't working? And what needs to be fixed, not just to help somebody get through the week, but for us to overcome the systems that keep people in poverty or any form of injustice. And so through that, things have happened. Like a few years ago, so many of our clients, we were hearing that the inefficient bus service in Birmingham was keeping people from being able to easily hold down a job. We helped organize the Bus Riders Coalition that has helped make Max operate better here in Birmingham. We've responded to the voting rights issues that continue to this day. Let me give a little history about Unitarians and your involvement with our ongoing work. Y'all probably know the names James Reeb and Viola Liuzzo, Unitarians who came to Alabama when they saw what was happening in Selma. And they just said, we want to respond, we want to help, we want to be part of trying to get voting rights for the people of the United States. And the center of that struggle is down in Alabama. They joined others in coming down here to help organize and get people where they needed to go. And in the process, both of them lost their lives. James Reeb was a Unitarian minister. Viola Liuzzo was a mom and a wife from Detroit. And she was shot and killed by the Klan. Reverend Reeb was beaten in the streets of Selma. But people saw on TV, as people were being beaten on Bloody Sunday, John Lewis over the head, and it changed hearts and minds around the world. And that's how we got the 1965 Voting Rights Act. We believe at GBM that we carry a special responsibility for things like that, hard-earned gains that have happened here in Alabama, and honoring that legacy by responding to what comes up in the future. So in 2013, the Supreme Court dismantled key sections of that Voting Rights Act in a case that came out of Alabama, the Shelby v. Holder decision. And the main thing that they did is they got rid of the pre-clearance provisions. And the Chief Justice said, we can do this because racism doesn't exist anymore. But immediately, states redrew their districts and discriminated against voters. At Greater Birmingham Ministries, we responded with the belief that the best defense is a good offense. So we have stepped up proposing all sorts of legislation, some of which has gotten passed. We've restored in Alabama voting rights for people who've been previously incarcerated. We have workshops to help people restore their voting rights now. But we've also been party to a lot of cases in the court system, including our big win last year was the Milligan decision at the Supreme Court. We, with the NAACP and Alabama Forward, were co-plaintiffs in the decision that where that same Supreme Court ruled that Alabama's congressional map was racially discriminatory. And so this fall, we have a new map. And but that didn't just happen in a vacuum. Y'all are part of an organization, Greater Birmingham Ministries, that for 55 years has built the social capital, the standing, the political capital even, to file lawsuits like that and to be at the table and to argue on behalf of justice in Alabama. And that comes from the day in, day out support of helping people put food on the table. We're not just some organization out there. We're an organization with heart that ties together the day-to-day needs of people with the systems change that needs to happen. And in a place like Alabama, where we can often get discouraged about things the legislature is trying to do, and we're on defense a lot, it's also a great opportunity to do big things. There are big challenges here. We take on a lot of stuff that we know we may have to play the long game on, but often we do win, and it's so satisfying here in a place like Alabama because it seems like it's hard. But in a place like Alabama, you do that by believing in good in everybody. People who may be opponents on some issues can be allies on others. Also in a place like Alabama, where people who have progressive consciences, believe in social justice, we can't afford to not ally together. So GBM sees itself as a meeting house for the intersectional social justice movements of this community. The same folks that are going after LGBTQ families go after immigrant families. And so the same coalition that stands up for families in one camp stands up for families in the other camps, because we know we have to work together. And that's the beauty of being involved in this sort of thing in a place like Alabama. The beauty of being involved in this sort of thing in a place like Alabama too is knowing that everything we do is imbued with the history of where this state has been, where this city has been. I believe that this is, I've probably used this term, but we're something like a vortex of struggling for the human condition to figure out how we're all going to live together. So voting rights has been a big issue for us of late. And to tie it back with history a little more, the reason the civil rights movement was such a, why Birmingham was such a center for the civil rights movement is that before that, Birmingham was a major hub for the labor movement in the United States. This, we're the magic city because industry sprung up overnight. People came here looking for jobs, and there were terrible working conditions. People were slain, maimed, and killed on the job. So the push for unionization here was strong, but the pushback was also strong. And segregation was one of the main ways that industry leaders tried to keep people down, pit white workers against black workers, make them feel like they had something to lose, get people to believe in fear and operate from that, and you can build a horrible oppressive system. And we know it didn't have to be that way. Southside Birmingham was one of the most integrated neighborhoods in the country before leaders in this community decided to make this a place where people operated from fear and segregation. And that's the sort of thing that people have had to be very intentional about overcoming here in Alabama. And so now one of the things that's welling up in our work at Greater Birmingham Ministries is we've become very central in the revived labor movement in Alabama. My successor as the new president of the board for Greater Birmingham Ministries is a nationally recognized labor leader who has spoken at the White House about work that we've done here. We established with a company called New Flyer, a Canadian company that's come to Anniston to build electric buses. We got them on board to do a first of its kind community benefits agreement, saying that they were on board to say, we want to come to Alabama, we want to do business in a different way. Tell us what standards we need to have. We set goals for them for diversity, equity, and inclusion, fair wages, all the things that you would ask for. And it was a new model in a state that's been hostile to unions. They, in fact, last month have now allowed a union to be established there at the plant. But that model is being followed by others now. And that's the sort of thing that GBM, through listening to people on the ground, has been able to establish as a model for what people can do here and beyond. So I could go on for an hour. I just want to say everything that you guys do as UUs, your values are expressed through Greater Birmingham Ministries. You guys are integral to what we do. We thank you so much. And thanks for passing the plate. Also, June 13th, we're going to do an open house at our building just north of downtown. Come between 4 and 7 if you want to meet other people who are involved in the work that y'all are part of, and you want to learn more about the history and opportunities to build real change in this special place called Birmingham, Alabama. Thanks.
Well, I think that was the perfect introduction for our next song, and thank you so much. Next song is United in Purpose. This piece from a text from Maya Angelou's book, Rainbow in the Cloud, encourages all of us, no matter your background or lived experience, to collaborate in ways that will bring about positive change in our world. And here are Maya Angelou's words, which we will be singing. The onus is upon us all to work to improve the human condition, perform good deeds, for that is truly the way to battle the forces of entropy that are at work in this world. The composite of all of our efforts can have an effect, good done anywhere is good done everywhere. When we unite in purpose, we are greater than the sum of our parts.
Sharing our joys and offering comfort for our sorrows are hallmarks of our loving community. Our online folks may use the chat feature, holding others by placing parentheses around their name. I invite those present who wish to drop a stone in honor or memory of what is in our heart to come forward.
have to say that was a lovely backdrop to our dropping the stones this morning. Can we do that every week? That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you. This morning we lift up many things. We lift up our relationship with Greater Birmingham Ministries. That is a wonderful organization we have partnered with for a long time. We lift up our democracy and know the importance of our need to protect it. And we lift up all of you here today to celebrate our democracy by voting in our congregational meeting after the service, right? Great. We also lift up a few folks. We lift up Peter Walsh's nephew, who's currently in children's in critical condition. So Peter, we are sending love to your family and hope that your nephew's treatment goes well. We continue to lift up Gil DeCumos, who is hiding in the back. We love you, Gil, and we hope you get some answers and help soon. For all of those unspoken requests and all of those other things going on, we hold you in our hearts and minds, and if there's something you'd like me to share with the congregation, please let me know. And now I invite Barbara to do our meditation reading.
Our meditation reading is the poem by Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things, that the choir just sang. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests, in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with the light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. So be it.
Good morning. I'm Diane Tucker, a member of the board. Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change the world for the better. If this is your first time with us, please pass the plate. We're just very glad you're here. We share our cash plate every Sunday with organizations whose work reflects UU values to care for marginalized persons, advocate for real and systemic change, defend our environment, and promote justice and equity for all. As you heard earlier, today's Share the Plate is for Greater Birmingham Ministries, and I hope that you will support them generously. We appreciate your donations either by placing them in the plate, by mailing your donation to the church, or by using PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. More information about each of these mechanisms is found in your order of service. Thank you for your generous support of our church and our Share the Plate recipient. May we give in love and in hope.
Every
Can the children come up, please? I don't have a story today. Don't want to move. Are y'all tired of sitting?
Everybody's been sitting for a while.
I'm exhausted from sitting so long. So, I have an activity, and it's called popcorn. And maybe one of y'all remembers it. Sort of. But y'all are going to help tell the story. Can y'all stand up? Anybody who wants to stand up, I'd like all people, young and old, to participate in this. So, we're going to play some music in a second, and Mr. Andy is going to hold up cards telling y'all what to do. All right? And if you can't see it, I'm moving, Calliope's moving, the kids are moving. Hopefully everybody can figure out what you're supposed to do.
All right. The goal is to do this in rhythm with the music.
All right, hit it for us.
Blink your eyes. Clap your hands. Wiggle your fingers. Tap your neck. Nod your head. Stamp your feet. Wiggle your shoulders. Bump your elbows. Knock your knees. Make circles with your arms. Don't hit your neighbor. Twist your waist. How about 1 foot? March. Clap your hands. Wiggle your fingers. Twist your waist. Knock your knees. Bump your elbows. Wiggle your shoulders. Full body wiggle. Bend your knees. Clap.
Okay, good job, y'all. That was awesome. Okay, can we sing you down? All right, wait. We haven't started the music yet. Yes, I'll put down.
Good morning, everyone. So, when I started this position in August, one of the first things I learned is that this congregation has a choir Sunday. And I thought, great, I've done a million concerts, this won't be any problem. And then I learned that one of my responsibilities during Choir Sunday was to get up and give a sermon. Yep. This, of course, made me super, super anxious because as a hardcore introvert, I really prefer my conducting role in which I get to face the choir and I don't have to face a whole congregation of people. In fact, my least favorite part of my job when I conduct my community choruses and my school choruses, I tell them this all the time, is when I have to talk in front of an audience. It gives me just heart palpitations after heart palpitations. So this very moment has been on my mind and has given me more than one irrational stress dream since that time. As an academic, of course, I'm used to giving talks about all kinds of things: choral conducting pedagogy, a social justice intervention with music education, the music composed for the women of the Venetian Ospedali, a little-known cantata by Fanny Hensel Mendelssohn, but those topics and those types of talks didn't seem quite appropriate for the task at hand. So this year, as I took part in our Sunday services, I noticed that we hear from guest speakers and also from Reverend Julie about different systems of belief. And I've for many years described myself and my religious beliefs as sort of a recovering Catholic agnostic. But this was more about what I didn't believe than about what I did. And so in listening to so many people talk about their beliefs and about different belief systems, I began to think about what I do believe. And the more I thought about the spiritual experiences that I've had, the times when I felt most connected to the humans that are around me, and the moments when I felt like I was part of something that was bigger than me, I realized that all of those instances, they all had in common music making. So I guess what I believe in is music. Music has the power to enhance key moments of our lives and help us recall meaningful memories, to promote change, and to bring people together across divisions. A couple of weeks ago, Reverend Julie touched on how certain songs remind us of specific moments in our lives. We've all had these experiences while we're driving in the car, sitting at a restaurant, waiting in line at a store, sitting in a service, when a song plays and we're immediately transported back to that particular moment in our lives. Maybe it was a breakup, maybe it was a marriage, a funeral, some rite of passage, anything that we might have experienced where that music played a key role in what we were doing. In fact, Trisha Yearwood wrote a whole song about it called "The Song Remembers When." She says, even when the world forgets, the song remembers when. Neuroscientists have studied this phenomenon, and they're now using it to help memory care patients to regain some of their memories. A neurologist from Northwestern University discovered that music allowed individuals with dementia to not only connect with their partners and family more effectively, but that music memories often remain in the brain even when language and other memories disappear. Music is deeply rooted in our conscious and unconscious brains, and because of this, it can help us connect to our past and bring meaning to our present. One of the ways we do this is by using music as a tool for change and in social justice movements, and we've seen this throughout history. In the classical music world, in the Romantic era, composer Giuseppe Verdi his music was used as Italians called for their country's unification. Jean Sibelius's piece Finlandia was composed as a protest against Russian censorship in Finland. And Benjamin Britten's War Requiem was his pacifist protest during the Second World War. Most recently, musicians like Bob Dylan and John Lennon wrote protest songs that became rallying cries during the Vietnam War. The civil rights movement in the United States brought us powerful anthems sung by groups of marchers in the face of discrimination and extreme violence, while Nina Simone and Sam Cooke used their voices as platforms to address issues of racial inequality and discrimination. The South African song Shosholoza was used as a protest anthem during South African apartheid. The gay men's chorus movement was formed during the AIDS epidemic in the 90s, and this helped to bring awareness to that health crisis that was happening when our government refused to acknowledge it. And now we have an abundance of composers, from Beyonce to Lizzo to even Taylor Swift, who create music all in response to injustices happening throughout the world. While we know, obviously, music is not the only tool that's used to advance these important social causes, we can't discount its power to unite and empower a group of people, nor its ability to deliver messages in a way that incorporates beauty and artistry. And perhaps because of this, it can reach a few more people. The power of music to unite people has been acknowledged since the time of Plato. He famously said, "Music gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything." Singing and making music is one of the natural ways that we can help our brains release oxytocin as well as dopamine. When we make music with others, we are all connecting on a level that we don't experience in other activities. One study by researchers in Sweden that I am sure made the rounds in numerous news articles, they studied the heart rates or monitored the heart rates of 15 students, both when they sang by themselves and then when they sang the same musical line together. The study found that when these students sang together, their heart rate slowed down and sped up at the same time. So their hearts synced up, so to speak. What was most striking was that it took almost no time, a matter of seconds, for this synchronization to happen. Vikoff, who was the principal investigator of this study, he said, "It's a beautiful way to feel. You are not alone, but with others who feel the same way." And I believe that it's this aspect of music making that is so powerful. And just like any other powerful unifying tool, perhaps like organized religion, it can be wielded for good or for malevolence. When I was going to school out east, I had the unique opportunity to sing with the West Eastern Divan Orchestra. This group was founded by Edward Said, a Palestinian author and scholar, and Daniel Barenboim, an Israeli conductor and pianist. When I met and sang with the orchestra, the group had only been around for about a decade. And yet, the inroads that had been made through that organization, one young person at a time, were so incredible. This orchestra is now in its 25th season and is continuing its mission despite, or maybe because of, the tragedy that continues to unfold in their homeland. In a statement from this past October, they doubled down on their mission. They said, "We must, want, and will continue to believe that music can bring us closer together in our humanity." In times when the world seems like a dark place, filled with only despair, I find hope and inspiration in these types of people who continue to collaborate and create beauty together. As we know from the classic line in Rent, the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation. In the words of Barenboim, music may not change the world, but it is a step forward. It is an ongoing dialogue where the universal, metaphysical language of music links with the continuous dialogue we have with each other. So my challenge for you today is this. First, begin to notice the ways that music plays a part in your life. And then, go and find a way to share and make music in some way with other people, both in and outside of your community. Because in these dark hours, when hate and fear seem to take hold, we must find a way to allow hope and creation to prevail. Thank you.
When
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 391.
It's announcement time, and we appreciate your attention to this morning's announcements. After the service today, we have our annual congregational meeting, and it's very important. You are all required, you are not required to be here, but you are strongly encouraged to stay for the meeting to vote on the slates of officers and leaders, the budget, and the environmental justice statement. Visitors are welcome to attend but cannot vote. To expedite this process, please exit the sanctuary, sign in to receive your voting card, and re-enter the sanctuary as quickly as possible. We need a couple volunteers to check folks in if you're willing to volunteer. This upcoming weekend is our church retreat at the mountain. I'm looking forward to it, I know that. And so many of our staff will be gone next Sunday while at the meeting. Ron Buddha from Tuscaloosa will be here to talk about his favorite hymn, Blue Boat Home, from the perspective of his expertise as an astronomer. He was here a couple of weeks ago, and Anthony may have seen that. Okay. Our annual denominational meeting is online this year, and we have 3 delegates, but still have room for 2 more. We will be voting on Article 2, the reframing of our principles. Please reach out to Helen, Wanzetta, or Kylie about how you would like them to vote. Their vote is ultimately their own, but congressional input is, of course, welcome. We have an announcement from the ushers. We need more ushers. And just think if there were no ushers and you had to figure out how many hymnals that you had to bring into the building, it would be a problem. So please volunteer to be an usher, because these wonderful people need some additional help. And also, I am going to put in a plug for the choir. And I want you all to know that this is the most fun. I never thought I would have so much fun singing in a choir. And Wednesday nights are one of my favorite times of the week. And I have a great time. And we have such a talented music department here. They are so talented. Elizabeth is such a good teacher and such a good director, and Yi-Wen is just a phenomenal accompanist. And as you can see, we could use a few more men in the choir. More often than not, I'm the only bass on Wednesday night singing in the choir. So please, if you're looking for a good time on a Wednesday night, please consider joining the choir. And with that, we have additional announcements from Farah and Grant. And Grady.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride. So I just want to quickly explain why we have Pride. Yes, it's a celebration of being gay. Yes, it's a party. It's wonderful. But also, every day, there are people who wake up who think that they're better off dead than being gay. I want to read you a couple of statistics. I'll make it fast so it's not boring. Suicide, second leading cause of death among young people. Second leading cause of death. I'm sorry, it makes me cry. LGBTQIA+ youth people are more than 4 times likely to commit suicide. And the Trevor Project, if you don't know who they are, please look them up. The Trevor Project estimates that more than 1.8 million of our LGBTQIA+ youth seriously consider suicide. And here's the last one. One child attempts every 45 seconds. So while I've been standing here, someone in the LGBTQIA+ community, some child, has tried to commit suicide. So pride is important because we are standing in that parade showing the world that it is okay and it is beautiful and they are made in God's image. We are saying we love you. So if you're not going to the mountain and you haven't quite decided, please come and be a presence in the parade. Show Birmingham that UUCB not only welcomes them, but celebrates them. Thank you.
I didn't know I was going to get choked up. Thanks. The parade is a great place to show up, and the parade is on Saturday, June the 8th. If you didn't see the ACE, just some quick notes, and then go back and refer to that. We will need a small group of people here to load up Trey and Heather's fantastic truck and trailer that they let us use year after year. Yes. We've got a fabulous float. There's a space in the back of the truck for littles to ride. With parents close by, there's a space on the float for people with mobility issues and the people that have helped sort of decorate and refresh the float, and then some other seating. Bring your bicycles, bring glitter, bring your fabulous outfits, shirts. We're going to segue into that real quick. So 4 o'clock, a small group here. Between 5 and 8, we will be meeting down in the Lakeview District. Julie Morgan will find out where we're going to meet and then coordinate everybody so we can end up at the right place. You need waivers signed to participate. We've got that on the table after the congregational meeting, right outside, so please sign those waivers. They're also online. And with that, I'm going to stop, but see me if you have any questions.
All right, and so for those of you who are tired of the sad, I'm going to tell you there's a party. Woo. We like parties. I like parties too. Okay, so the 8th is our parade. The 9th is Pride Fest. Woo. So for that, we'll have tents set up. We are doing a selfie scavenger hunt, so everybody who goes to the festival has, memorabilia to take home. We're giving out some prizes, all kinds of cool stuff. We're also telling them about the amazing church that we are part of. Yes. So with that being said, I'm going to need some volunteers to help put up the tents in the morning. We're doing like 3-hour little shifts, so it's nothing major. You can still enjoy the rest of the festival. I'll need a couple people to help take everything down in the evening. So whether you are a morning bird or a night owl, I need you. Woo!
One last thing. Do you like my shirt? You too can have this shirt for the low cost of $20. If you order by today, you'll have them for Pride, but we're going to keep on selling them the entire year. But if you want to wear them to Pride with us, yes, $20, see me or message me. Hooray! Happy Pride!
I have one more Pride event I want to welcome you to. It's a little more challenging for our group of people, but I want to invite you to our Interfaith Pride service on Thursday at 6 p.m. at Woodlawn United Methodist Church. Now, some of you may not know that I'm the president of the interfaith group in town. Thank you. I just spent the last week in Washington, D.C., lobbying with interfaith folks. That was wonderful and terrifying. As president, I really need my folks to show up at this service, right? Yes, we need a good showing. So please come to the service. You will hear some words you're not used to hearing on Sunday morning. You will not die. It will be okay. But our theme this year is about hearing one another's stories. And you're going to have an opportunity to write your story, to share your story, and to have your story blessed. Because of all the things that have been going on, the book bans, everything that's happening, we want to make sure folks know that their stories are important. So each of you, I hope you'll come to the service Thursday at 6 p.m. At Woodlawn. If you have any questions, let me know. But I just want to give another shout out to Elizabeth Ewin and our beautiful choir. Please give them a round of applause. Woo! We love you all. Thank you so much.
In honor of the legacy of our ancestors, let's carry forward the flame as we extinguish this chalice with words from American author Henry Van Dyke. Use whatever talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birdie sang there, except for the best. It basically boils down to just do it. Just sing. That's what got me singing, just doing it.
This is on behalf of the choir. We're offering this to Gil. Gil just recently had a birthday, and we didn't want him to think we forgot. So you open this right now.
Thank you. Oh.
That's hard to follow. So it's been a joy for us to share our music with you today. We're going to end with A River in Judea by Linda Marcus. Over the years, I've listened to this song from the congregation many times, and it has been an absolute pleasure for me to get to learn it and sing it. Now, I think of the river in Judea as a life force that sustains, calms, and nurtures us. This is an anthem to life and to hope.
Freely flow. Amen.